Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, October 10th, 2025. Today, division round from yesterday. Look ahead to Game 5 tonight, the American League Series, Thursday Night Football, and then we'll look at Sunday's games. College football from yesterday, look ahead to tonight and the weekend. NHL from the last two nights, look ahead to tonight and the weekend. We forgot to do NHL yesterday, so I apologize about that in advance. Soccer, WNBA finals, golf, NASCAR, Formula One, news and notes, and then we close with best bet and Fab Five. We'll begin with the divisional round in baseball. We'll go over the two results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's alone, Game 5. So, the first game, Dodgers over the Phillies, 2-1 in 11 innings on a walk-off error. The Dodgers advance and go to the NLCS yet again. And the Phillies season comes to a crushing end as the Dodgers win the series in 4 games. And then the second NLDS game, Cubs beat the Brewers 6-0 to even up this baby at 2 apiece to force a Game 5 on Saturday night. And now tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox, Tigers-Mariners, Game 5. Tariq Skubal, George Kirby. Should be fun. Skubal was dinged up for 2 home runs last time Seattle saw him. And Seattle ended up with the big Game 2 win. And last year, Skubal, don't forget, pitched in a winner-take-all game, and Cleveland got them. The Tigers, because of Skubal, are a -120 favorite. The Mariners are +102, over under 5.5. Over is -122, under is even money. Tigers -1.5, +158. Mariners +1.5 is -92. Under never fails. I'm going under 5.5 and even money. Decisive Game 5. And I want to take Seattle because they're home and they're an underdog in a Game 5 because the other team's throwing out their ace. But out of respect to Skubal, I'm going to give out the under. But I do think the Mariners find a way. But if I had to bet on this game, which I probably will end up betting on this game, I would parlay a little bit with the under 5.5 and the Mariners on the money line. And if I did that, it comes out to +262, which is a really nice price. I mean, I'd rather it be 3-1 just for fun, but no. All right, and then Saturday, 8 o'clock, TBS, Game 5, Cubs-Brewers. We don't know who's going in either game. It will probably be you would think is it going to be Quintana going for Milwaukee? I would assume so. I don't think it's going to be Aaron Ashby. Yeah, maybe it will be Aaron Ashby. As Quintana's hurt still. And in the Cubs, it will probably be Matthew Boyd, who I wouldn't trust, or it could be Shota Imanaga. So a lot of interesting decisions for both teams. The Brewers are -130 favorites. The Cubs are +110, over under 7.5, -10 each way. Cubs +1.5 is -10. Brewers -1.5 +72. I do like unders in decisive games, but because of the pitching situation on each side, I'm actually willing to give out over 7.5 for Cubs Brewers. And then on Sunday, will begin the ALCS between the Mariners or the Tigers against the Blue Jays. on Fox. So quick little preview for this. Best guy in the series is Vlad Guerrero Jr., regardless of who the Blue Jays play. He is the best player in the series. Cal Raleigh, my ass, 60 home runs in the regular season, but this is playoff baseball, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. has carried the Toronto Blue Jays in the postseason so far, and he's just been unstoppable as a hitter, and even playing defense at first base, I may add. Best pitcher in the series. It's easily Skubal if it's Detroit, but if it's Seattle, if he's back, Brian Wu. But if Brian Wu's not back, then it is probably Luis Castillo. But you can make a case for Kevin Gossman as well for best pitcher if it's Seattle. Better manager. AJ Hinch if it's the Tigers. But if it's Seattle, that's a hard one between Wilson and Schneider. I think both of those guys have done an outstanding job. But because of bullpen management, I would give the edge to Dan Wilson. I think he's done a better job managing the bullpen than John Schneider. Although Schneider did a fantastic job in Game 4 against the Yankees. But I think Aaron Boone put together a poor lineup in Game 4, so I'm punishing Schneider for that. Maybe I'm being petty as a Yankees fan. But, yeah, that's facts. Okay. So, storyline of the series. To me, who of these American League teams will finally break through? Somebody's breaking through. Potentially. And to me, that's the storyline. Whether it's Toronto or Seattle, one of them has a chance to break through. And so series pick. Okay, this is difficult because Brian Wu. Again, this guy is so important to Seattle. I don't think the Mariners can beat the Blue Jays without Brian Wu. I said that last week when I was doing the division round picks. I still feel that way. And if he's back, if Seattle wins tonight and Brian Wu is back, so he threw on a flat ground in a workout. But they, like I said, they need him to beat the Blue Jays. Absolutely need him. Okay. If Brian Wu's there, the pick will be Mariners in 6. If Brian Wu is out, the pick will be the Blue Jays in 6. If they play the Tigers, the pick will be Blue Jays in 6 because I think they'll win a Skubal start and in maybe one other game, Detroit. So, Jays in 6 over the Tigers. With Brian Wu, Mariners in 6. Without Brian Wu, Blue Jays in 6. So that's what it's going to come down to for me, and I hope we get that news at some point before Sunday. And if Brian Wu starts game 1, the Mariners will win. And if he doesn't, or if it's the Tigers, the Blue Jays will win game 1. So there you have it for baseball. Now we'll move on to Thursday night football with another home division underdog winning outright. Well, last week was a road division underdog winning outright. This week was a home division underdog winning outright. And this time it's the New York Football Giants beating the Eagles 34-17. Giants go to 2-4. Eagles drop to 4-2. Jackson Dart really showed out in his first primetime game. So did Cam Scattaboo, and all the jokes about the Giants would be put to rest for a week, and that's a wonderful thing to say. And the drama continues for the Philadelphia Eagles, and there's going to be a lot of questions and whatnot. But in a weird way, the Eagles are not quite off the hook, but because of the Philly season ending, I think that they might get a little bit of a pass from their town's media, not necessarily the football media, but like the Philadelphia sports radio, because the Philly season being over, I think, is a bigger deal in that city than the Eagles losing to the Giants. Although it is a big deal, but not as big a deal as the Philly season ending. All right, now to Sunday. For the picks, first up, London, 9:30, NFL Network. Probably Rich Eisen on the call. Broncos Jets. From Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. My line is Broncos 9.5, total 47, and it is Denver by 7, total 43.5. I like the over in this game. I think that is low. I think the Jets defense is an atrocity. And I think that Denver offensively in the second half against the Eagles showed significant signs of life. And obviously the Jets don't have Quincy Williams, but Denver still doesn't have Dragunov. So I'm going to take the over 43.5 in that one. 1 o'clock, CBS Browns Steelers. The Steelers, I have projected an 11.5 point favorite, total 43 and 17/20, and it's 5.5 and 38.5. So 6 point differential on the Steelers and just over 5 on the over. I'm gonna lay the 5.5 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody loves the Browns for some reason in this spot. Like Dylan Gabriel didn't light the world on fire against Minnesota. I know the Steeler defense isn't the same, but still Mike Tomlin off a bye at home. And I know he's not good as a favorite either, but I trust Mike Tomlin. So I'm going to lay 5.5 with the Steelers. CBS, Chargers, Dolphins. My projections, Chargers 2.5, total 44 and 4/5. And it's 4.5 and 43.5. I'm going to take the Dolphins plus 4.5. Chargers have a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. So does Miami, but hot weather and the Dolphins offensively, I think, have shown signs of life even without Tyreek Hill. Not saying the Dolphins are going to win, but I won't be surprised. CBS, Patriots, Saints. My line is Patriots by 3, total 45 and 3/10, and it is Patriots 3.5, total 45.5. Very close calls. Slight lean Saints, but I don't feel good about it. So that game will not be in Fab 5, and honestly, rightfully so. Next up on Fox, Cardinals, Colts. My line is Colts 6.5, total 45 and 1/10, and it's 7 and 47.5. Under. I think that total's too high. On Fox, Seahawks, Jaguars. I have Jaguars 5.5, total 47 and 4/5, and it is 1.5 and 47.5. Everyone, their mother loves Seattle. Everybody's in love with Seattle. They have a lot of injuries on defense. I'm laying the points with the Jaguars. On Fox, Cowboys Panthers from Carolina. My line is, believe it or not, the Panthers 2.5 point favorites, total 52 and 3/5, and Cowboys are obviously favored, by 3, total 49.5. So I have a 3-point edge on the over and a multiple point more than that on the Panthers. I have to take the Panthers plus the 3 and plus 144 to win the game on the field. I think this could be a trap for Dallas. Although everyone said that about that Jets game last week too. And on Fox, Rams Ravens. My line is with Lamar Jackson, pick 'em. Without Lamar Jackson, 7 Rams. Total 54 and 4/5, and I doubt Lamar's going to play. 7.5, 44.5. I still think even without Lamar, that total's low, and the Ravens defense is decimated. And, that's over. I think the Rams could easily score 30. All right, 4 o'clock slate. On Fox, Titans Raiders. My line's Raiders 2.5, total 43 and 3/5. And it's 4.5 and 41.5. This opened at 6.5 and it's gone down, and rightfully so. So I have a 2-point edge on the Titans, and I have over a 2-point edge on the over. So I'm gonna give out the over. Also on Fox, oh no, my bad, on CBS. Why is there only 3 4 o'clock games? All right, CBS. Bengals Packers. This was probably the Nance and Romo game before the year, and I don't think it is now. Obviously with Burrow out. Mine's Packers 13.5, total 47 and 3/5, and it is 14.5 and 44.5. Over. I know Joe Flacco's the quarterback of the Bengals now, but the Bengals defense still stinks as far as I'm concerned. And the Packer offense really is starting to come into form, so I like that over. And then this is the Nance and Romo game on CBS. 49ers, Buccaneers. My line's Bucks 3.5, total 47 and a 10th, and it's 3 and 47.5. Very close. Slight lean Bucks. That will not be in Fab 5. Last but not least, Sunday Night Football. 8:20 NBC. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth on the call. Lions, Chiefs. The season opener rematch from a couple of years ago when Detroit went in to KC and upset the Chiefs. They were I'll never forget, they were like a 7.5 point underdog, and they won outright. And I think I bet the Chiefs in that game too. And I remember Chris Jones didn't play, and somebody else was hurt. All right, my line here is Chiefs only by a half, total 51 and 4/5. And it's Chiefs 2.5, total 52.5. I have to take the Lions plus 2.5. I don't know if they're gonna win. I am not putting this in Fab 5. All right, now we'll move on to college football. We'll go over yesterday's results, and we'll look ahead to tonight and Saturday. We had 4 games last night, and every bet I gave out was a winner. How about that? And guess what? I may or may not have parlayed all of them in one. So that was actually pretty cool. Kennesaw State beat Louisiana Tech 35-7. That was best bet. That won easily. Tulane over East Carolina 26-19. Jacksonville State over Sam Houston 29-27. Southern Miss over Georgia Southern 38-35. What I meant by every bet hit, I meant against the spread, obviously. All right, now we'll move on to tonight, 7:30 on ESPN2. Number 24, South Florida against North Texas. My line is North Texas 9.5 total 61 and 7/10. I can't wait to see this line. Oh boy, because South Florida is probably favored. No, North Texas is favored. I'm fine with that. 1.5 total 66.5. And yes, I am betting on North Texas minus 1.5. You know it. This is a Madison special with the ranked team as a dog against the unranked team that nobody really knows nothing about. You know I love this. And you know who else is probably betting this? Chris Felica from Bear Bets and Fox Sports. You know he's probably betting on this too. This is Screams Bear. And it screams Scott Van Pelt. It was probably in winners last night, but I missed it. 9 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. Rutgers, Washington. My line is Washington by 5, total 61 and 4/5, and it's 11.5 and 61.5. I'm going to take Rutgers in the points. I know it's a road game at night and Washington's good, but I think Rutgers is going to be competitive here. Fresno State, Colorado State on CBS Sports Network. My line is Colorado State 6.5, total 47 and 3/10. And it is Fresno 6.5, total 47.5. Give me Colorado State plus 6.5 and plus a 90 outright. That's crazy. All right. Saturday, 12 o'clock on Fox. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 17, Illinois. My line is Ohio State 2.5, total 51 and 7/10. 14.5, 50.5. Illinois in the points. Illinois in the points. All right, on ABC, number 8, Alabama. Number 14, Missouri. My line is Missouri by 2, total 56 and 1/10. And it is Alabama 3.5, total 51.5. Ooh, so I have a 4.5 approximately point edge on the over. And I have more than that on Missouri. So guess who Madison's giving out? Missouri plus 3.5 and plus 126 to win the game on the field. ESPN, Pitt at number 25, Florida State. I have Florida State 1.5, total 64 in the 10th, and it is probably double digits. Yeah, 10.5, total 58.5. I'm taking Pitt in the points. That could be a sleepy spot for the Seminoles. Big Ten Network, UCLA, Michigan State. My line is Michigan State 11.5, total 57 and 4/5. And it's 8.5 and 53.5. I like the over, although I like Michigan State too. Stanford, SMU on the C-Dub. My line is SMU 20, total 54 and 2/5. And it is 18.5 and 55.5. Ooh. Slight lean SMU. UCF Cincinnati, Fox Sports 1. My line's Cincy 9.5, total 54 and 3/5. And it's 10.5 and 54.5. Why is everything so freaking close? Slight lean UCF. That won't be in Fab 5. TNT, Houston, Oklahoma State. My line's Houston 12, total 48 and 7/10. And it's 14.5 and 47.5. OK State in the points. ESPN 2, Louisiana, James Madison. My line's JMU by 10, total 50 and 9/10. And it is 17.5 and 46.5. Take Louisiana in the points. CBS Sports Network, Charlotte Army. My line's Army 6.5, total 53 and 3/10. And it's 18.5 and 46.5. I'll take Charlotte to cover. That's a big number. Miami of Ohio, Akron. My line's Miami of Ohio by a half, total 47 and 9/10. And it is 11.5 and 46.5. I'm going to take Akron getting the points. That's a lot. ESPNU, Toledo, Bowling Green. My line's Toledo 9.5, total 47 and 3/5. And it's 11.5 and 48.5. Bowling Green in the points. Wazoo, Ole Miss, SEC Network at 12:45. I should say number 4, Ole Miss. My line's Ole Miss 16, total 54 and 2/5. And it is 31.5 and 57.5. I'm going to take Wazoo getting the points. That could be a sleepy spot for Ole Miss. 1 o'clock, Northern Illinois, Eastern Michigan. My line's Eastern 3.5, total 46 and 9/20. And it's Northern 2.5, total 47.5. I'm taking Eastern plus the points and plus 110 outright. 2:30, UMass, Kent State. My line is Kent State 3.5, total 52 and 7/10. And it is 2.5 and 51.5. Slight over. Here we go. Best game of the weekend. 3:30. CBS. Number 7, Indiana. Number 3, Oregon. Dante Moore continuing his Heisman campaign and his campaign for the number 1 overall pick in the draft. My line is Oregon by 3, total 58 and 1/10. And you know it's a bigger line because Oregon likes to run it up on the frauds. And they probably look at Indiana as a fraud. And it is 7.5 and 53.5. Ooh. Let's see here. I'm actually going to give out the over because I have a bigger edge on the over than I do on Indiana. And I'm happy about it because I really believe that there's a chance Oregon blows them out, and I don't want to feel foolish by betting on Indiana and only for them to get blown out. So I love the over. I'm glad that I came across that. ABC, number 6, Oklahoma, Texas. My line is Texas by 5, total 41 and 3/10. But John Mateer's still out. It's 10. And it is Texas. Actually, Oklahoma 1.5, total 45.5. That's an indicator that he's back. Oh wait, it's really a pick'em because Texas is favored on the money line though. I'll take Texas plus 1.5 and minus 110 only because we don't know about Mateer and how he's gonna look. ACC Network, Virginia Tech, number 13, Georgia Tech. Mine's Georgia Tech by 19, total 55. And it's 14.5 and 54.5. I'm going to lay 14.5 with Georgia Tech. Peacock, NC State, and number 16, Notre Dame. My line's Notre Dame 6.5, total 61 and 3/5. And it is 22.5 and 58.5. I'm taking NC State and the points. Okay, next up, number 22, Iowa State, Colorado. That's on ESPN. My line's Iowa State 13.5, total 49 and 13/20. And it's 2.5 and 50. That's crazy. I know Colorado showed a little something last week. Like, come on. I'm laying the points. Fox Sports 1, Northwestern, Penn State. My line's Penn State 13.5, total 48.5. And it is 22.5 and 47.5. I'm taking the points. Penn State stinks. And they're over freaking rated. Big Ten Network, Nebraska, Maryland. My line's Nebraska 3, total 51. And it is 6.5 and 47.5. 3.5 point edge on the over, 3.5 point edge on the Terps. I am going to go with the Terps, getting the 6.5. Wake Forest, Oregon State on C-Dub. My line's Oregon State by 5, total 50 and 3/4. I know Wake's a big favorite, probably. Oh, only 2.5. Total 50.5. This is one where I say, hey, trap. I'm taking Oregon State plus the points and plus 118, and no, that's not going to be in Fab 5. On Fox, TCU, Kansas State. My lane's Kansas State by 10, total 56.25, and it's TCU 1.5, total 55.5. I'm taking Kansas State plus the 1.5 and plus 108 outright. I think TCU is overrated. CBS Sports Network, Air Force, UNLV. My line's UNLV 15.5, total 68 1/10, and it is 6.5 and 64.5. I'm weighing the points with UNLV. App State, Georgia State. My line's Georgia State by a half, total 54 and 3/10, and it is App State 2.5, total 55.5. I'm taking Georgia State plus a 2.5 and plus 108 outright. Old Dominion Marshall, my line is Old Dominion by 8.5, total 56 7/10. And it is 14.5 and 56.5. I'm taking Marshall getting the 2 touchdowns. Ball State, Western Michigan. My line's Western by 10, total 43 1/10. And it's 8.5 and 43.5. Slightly in Ball State. ESPN 2 at 4 o'clock, Navy Temple. My line's Navy 14.5, total 56 1/10. And it's 10.5 and 52.5. I feel like Temple's kind of become a darling of some sort because they're in Philadelphia. But I'm going to lay 10.5 with Navy. I know Temple won as a home dog last week. I just don't think they're going to do it against a better Navy team. For 15 on the SEC Network, Arkansas at number 12, Tennessee. Mine's Tennessee 16, total 73 7/10. And it's 12.5 and 68.5. I'm going to take the over. UAB FAU at 6. My line's FAU by 9, total 65. And it's 5.5 and 67.5. I'm going to lay the points with Florida Atlantic. On ESPN at 7 o'clock, Florida at number 5, Texas A&M. Mine's A&M 7.5, total 48 1/10. And it is 7.5 and 47.5. Oof, I hate when that happens. Slight over. Iowa, Wisconsin, Fox Sports 1. My line's Iowa 5, total 41 7/10. And it is 3.5 and 36.5. Over. That's too low. That's a reputation number with the total. CBS Sports Network, San Jose State, Wyoming. My line is San Jose State by 10.5, total 44 3/5. And it's 2.5 and 49.5. I'm laying the 2.5 with San Jose State at even money. UL Monroe, Coastal Carolina. Mine's Coastal 5.5, total 46 9/10. And it is UL Monroe 2.5, total 45.5. I think the wrong team's favor. Give me Coastal plus the points and plus 112 to win. 7:30 on Fox, Kansas at number 9, Texas Tech. Mine's Tech by 10.5, total 57 13/20. And it is 14.5 and 58.5. I think that's high. Give me Kansas in the points. I think Jalen Daniels will put up the numbers to match, and they'll cover. On ABC, number 10, Georgia at Auburn. That's the Fowler-Herb Street game, probably. My line is Georgia by 5, total 48.5, and it's 3.5 and 46.5. Over. I'm surprised that line's that low, by the way. On NBC, number 15, Michigan at USC. Mine's USC 1.5, total 16 1/5, and it is SC 2.5, total 56.5. I like the over in that game, but I don't know if I'm willing to put it in Fab 5. And I think the right team's favored, by the way, because I know a lot of people liked Michigan, but this is 2 words. Vegas knows. Big Ten Network. Purdue, Minnesota. My line is Minnesota 15.5, total 53 1/5, and it is 8.5 and 49.5. Oh, do I love Minnesota here. Undervalued at home. Purdue stinks. I'm laying the points. Clemson, BC, ACC Network. My line's Clemson 9.5, total 53 3/10, and it's 14.5 and 54.5. Whoa, I love Boston College getting the points. ESPNU, Rice, UTSA. Mine's UTSA by 8, total 50 2/5, and it is 9.5 and 47.5. I like the over. 7:45 on the SEC Network. South Carolina, number 11, LSU. Mine's LSU by 11, total 41 2/5. And it's 9.5 and 44.5. Under. 8 o'clock on ESPN2, number 18, BYU at Arizona. My line's BYU 6.5, total 49 7/10. And it's BYU 1.5, total 47.5. I thought there was a chance we'd see Arizona with the minus. but I'm going to lay the 1.5 with BYU. Next up, Troy, Texas State. My line is Troy by 3.5, total 53.5. And it's Texas State 8.5. What? Total 54.5. You know where I'm going. Troy plus the points and plus 260. Outright. 9:45 Fox Sports 1, New Mexico, Boise. My line's Boise's 13.5, total 55 and 9/10. And it's 16.5 and 58.5. That's an interesting one. That's a 3-point differential for me on the number or on the spread. And then the total is less than that. So, I'm going to take New Mexico plus the points. 10:15 on ESPN, number 21, Arizona State at Utah. Mine is Arizona State 7.5, total 52. And it's Utah 7.5, total 44.5. I think that's crazy to me that Utah is that big of a favorite. Like, does Arizona State's... Is their quarterback injured? Why is that line that... Oh. Their quarterback's probably out. Oh. Levitt's doubtful. Sam Levitt's doubtful. So, that would... This is like a... This is kind of like Oklahoma's quarterback. Alright, I'm taking Zona State plus points and plus 260, but that's not going to be in Fab 5. Obviously now, because of that injury. I literally said, why is Utah that big of a favorite? And then, bam, quarterback injured. Of course. 10:30 CBS Sports Network, San Diego State, Nevada. My line is San Diego State by 12, total 40 and 4/5. And it's 7.5 and 42.5. I'm going to lay 7.5 at San Diego State. And last but not least, at midnight Eastern, Utah State, Hawaii. Mine's Hawaii 8.5, total 58. And it's Utah State 1.5, total 57.5. I'm taking Hawaii and the 1.5 and plus 102 outright. Alright, now we'll move on to the NHL. We'll go over the results from the last two nights and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Again, I feel bad I forgot to do NHL yesterday because it was a big slate yesterday. And there would have been opportunities for picks to be given out. Although I nailed best bet, I nailed the NFL Thursday bet, so we're good. Oh, why are there no NHL games tonight? Alright, Wednesday results. Leafs over to Habs 5-2. Bruins over to Capitals 3-1. Flames over to Oilers 4-3 in a shootout. Kings over to Golden Knights 6-5 in a shootout. Thursday's results. Rangers over to Sabres 4-0, so they bounce back from their opening night defeat. Bruins over to Blackhawks 4-3 in overtime. Habs over to Red Wings 5-1. Sens over to Lightning 5-4. Good win for the team that I thought would surprise some people in that division. Panthers over to Flyers 2-1. Penguins over to Isles 4-3 as they go to 2-0. Canes over to Devils 6-3. Wild over to Blues 5-0. Preds over to Blue Jackets 2-1. Stars over to Jets 5-4. Avs over to Mammoth 2-1. Canucks over to Flames 5-1. Golden Knights over to Sharks 4-3 in overtime. Kraken over to Ducks 3-1. Alright, we're not giving out picks because there's no games tonight. I mean, there's lines up for tomorrow, but because of injuries and stuff, you don't want to risk it. 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, Kings Jets 4:00. Blues Flames 7:00. Sabres Bruins, Rangers Penguins, Leafs Wings, Devils Lightning, Sens Panthers, Caps Islanders, Flyers Canes, NHL Network Habs Blackhawks 8:00. Mammoth Predators, Blue Jackets Wild, Stars Avs at 9, 10:00. Canucks Oilers, Ducks Sharks, and Golden Knights Kraken. So it looks like everybody's playing on Saturday. And then Sunday, one game, NHL Network at 7:00. It's Capitals Rangers. So, for the Capitals only played once, and then they don't play again until Sunday. Weird schedule. All right, now we'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and some even from this morning. Then we'll look ahead to today and tonight. All right, yesterday, international friendlies. Romania over Moldova 2-1. England over Wales 3-0. Poland over New Zealand 1-0. Morocco over Bahrain 1-0. UEFA. Finland over Lithuania 2-1. Austria over San Marino 10-0. Denmark over Belarus 6-0. Cyprus, Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-2 draw. Czechia, Croatia 0-0 draw. Faroe Islands over Montenegro 4-0. The Dutch over Malta 4-0. Scotland over Greece 3-1. African Cup qualifying. Kenya over Burundi 1-0. Uganda over Botswana 1-0. Liberia over Namibia 3-1. Malawi Equatorial was canceled. Guinea over Mozambique 2-1. And Algeria over Somalia 3-0. CONCACAF, Haiti over Nicaragua 3-0. Costa Rica, Honduras 0-0 draw. Asian Cup, Yemen over Brunei 2-0. Pakistan, Afghanistan 0-0 draw. Philippines over Timor-Leste 4-1. Sri Lanka over Turkmenistan 1-0. India, Singapore 1-1 draw. Malaysia over Laos 3-0. Thailand over Chinese Taipei 2-0. Vietnam over Nepal 3-1. Tajikistan over Maldives 2-0. Hong Kong over Bangladesh 4-3. Lebanon over Bhutan 2-0. And Syria over Myanmar 5-1. All right, this morning finals. Friendlies, Japan, Paraguay 2-2 draw. Brazil over South Korea 5-0. Uruguay over DR 1-0. I thought there were Asian games this morning. So CAF finals, Gabon over Gambia 4-3, Ivory Coast over Seychelles 7-0, Senegal over South Sudan 5-0, Sudan, Mauritania 0-0 draw, Congo DR over Togo 1-0. Going on now, Lesotho, Nigeria, Rwanda, Benin, Sao Tome and Principe in Tunisia, and Zimbabwe and South Africa. UEFA final, Kazakhstan over Liechtenstein 4-0. All right, we have 7 games going on in the afternoon. For UEFA, all right, 2:45, Belgium and North Macedonia. All right, so Belgium minus 900, North Macedonia 17-1. The draw 7-1. Over 3.5 goals plus 118. France, Azerbaijan. France minus 10,000. Azerbaijan 45-1. The draw is 25-1. Under 4.5 goals plus 148. Germany, Luxembourg. Germany minus 10,000. Luxembourg 55-1. The draw is 20-1. Over 4.5 goals plus 116. Iceland, Ukraine. Ukraine plus 145. Iceland plus 185. Draw plus 220. I'm going to go with the upset. Iceland at home plus 185. Kosovo, Slovenia. Kosovo plus 150. Slovenia is 2-1. So is the draw. I'm going to go with Kosovo plus 150. Northern Ireland, Slovakia. Northern Ireland plus 145. Slovakia plus 230. Draw plus 190. I'm going with Northern Ireland at plus 145. Sweden, Switzerland. This is probably the best matchup. Sweden plus 140, Switzerland plus 190, draw plus 230. I'm going with Sweden at plus 140. All right, international friendlies going on right now. It's Jordan, Bolivia, and Russia, Iran. 7 o'clock. Chile, Peru. Chile minus 105, Peru plus 340, draw plus 210, going with Chile plus minus 105. 7:30, Canada, Australia. Canada minus 140, Australia plus 380, draw plus 250. The draw's enticing, but I'm going over 2.5 goals plus 112. Argentina, Venezuela, 8. Argentina minus 750, Venezuela 15-1, the draw 6-1. Over 3.5 goals plus 146. In 8:30 on TNT, USA, Ecuador. US plus 145, Ecuador plus 200, draw plus 210. US gotta win. It's in Austin. I think they're going to do it. Plus 145. I've been very hard on this United States team on this podcast. I think they get it done tonight. Plus 145. CONCACAF, 5 o'clock. Suriname, Guatemala. Suriname plus 160, Guatemala 2-1. The draw is plus 190. Going with Suriname plus 160. 6 o'clock. Bermuda and Trinidad. Trinidad is minus 150. Bermuda plus 370. Draw plus 290. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals plus 136. 7 o'clock. Curacao, Jamaica. Jamaica plus 135. Curacao plus 220. Draw plus 210. Going with Jamaica plus 135. 9 o'clock. El Salvador, Panama. Panama minus 145. El Salvador plus 470. Draw plus 230. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals plus 162. All right, the Women's League tonight, 7:30, Louisville, Chicago. Louisville minus 130, Chicago plus 310, draw plus 280. Under 2.5 goals plus 116. 8 o'clock, Orlando, Portland. Orlando minus 115, Portland plus 290, draw plus 250. I love Orlando minus 115. 10:30, Seattle, Bay FC. Seattle minus 115, Bay FC plus 290, draw plus 250. I'm going with Bay FC minus 115. USL Super League, we have Lexington and Carolina. USL at 7 o'clock, North Carolina and Phoenix. North Carolina plus 110, Phoenix plus 220, draw plus 240. I'm going with North Carolina plus 110. USL League One, Knoxville, Portland at 6:30, and at 7 you have Charlotte against AV Alta FC. And then the weekend, real quick. Saturday friendly, 7:30 p.m., Grenada, Cuba, 9 o'clock, Mexico, Colombia. UEFA, Saturday morning at 9, Latvia, Andorra, and at noon, Hungary, Armenia, Norway, Israel, 2:45, Bulgaria, Turkey, Estonia, Italy, Portugal, Ireland, Serbia, Albania, Spain, Georgia. Asian qualifying, 1:15, UAE, Oman, and 3:30, Iraq, Indonesia. MLS, Saturday, 7:30, Inter Miami and Atlanta, Orlando, Vancouver, 9:30, Seattle, Salt Lake, 10:30, Galaxy, Dallas. Women's League, 5 o'clock, KC, Gotham, 7:30, North Carolina, Washington, 10 o'clock, Utah, San Diego. And then Sunday, international friendly, 1 o'clock, Malta, Bosnia and Herzegovina. UEFA, 9 o'clock, San Marino, Cyprus at noon, Faroe Islands, Czechia, Netherlands, Finland, Scotland, Belarus, 2:45, Croatia, Gibraltar, Denmark, Greece, Lithuania, Poland, and Romania, Austria. African qualifying, 9 o'clock, Zambia, Niger at noon, Chad and Central African Republic, 3 o'clock, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Sierra Leone, Egypt, Guinea-Bissau, Ghana, Comoros, and Mali, Madagascar. MLS at 7 o'clock, Austin, LAFC. Women's Soccer League, 5 o'clock on ESPN, Angel City, Houston. Super League, 7 o'clock, Austin Villa, Leicester. ESPN2, Chelsea, Tottenham, Everton, Man United. London City, West Ham, 9:30, Arsenal, Brighton and Hove, and 11:45, Liverpool and Man City. And anything Monday morning, I'm just going to check. International friendlies, 8:45, Uzbekistan and Uruguay, and at noons on Montenegro and Liechtenstein. African, you have Equatorial Guinea, Liberia, Sao Tome and Principe, and Malawi, South Sudan, Togo, Tunisia, and Namibia, and at noon, Cameroon, Angola, Cape Verde, Eswatini, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, and Mauritius and Libya. So, I know it was a lot of soccer. Okay, now we'll move on to the WNBA finals. We have game 4 coming up. Is it tonight or is it tomorrow? I think it's tonight. Game 4. And it is on ESPN tonight. Aces Mercury. Vegas is favored by 2.5 in the game, which is crazy. By 2, total 163.5. Is there a big injury tonight? Because why is Vegas favored? Oh, Sabali's out. That's why they're favored. But I think they can do it without Sabali. I'm taking the Mercury plus the 2 and plus 112 outright. They need to save their season. And I think that they'll force a game 5, which would be Sunday, 3 o'clock on ABC. And I think the Aces wrap it up on Sunday afternoon at home. That would be my guess. All right, now I'm going to do golf really quickly. We will look at the leaderboard for the Bay Current Classic. Your leader right now, 12 under is Max Treisman. Tied for second with 8 under is Xander Schauffele, Alex Ryan, Alex Smalley. Tied for 5th with 7 under, S.W. Kimsey, Thiglia, Brian Campbell, and Nicholas Echevarria. Tied for 9th with 6 under, Grayson Higa, Rico Hoey, and Kazuki Higa. Tied for 12th with 5 under, Bayo Hostler, Keith Mitchell, Kevin Roy, Kevin Yu, William Mao, Christian Ziedenhout, and Camilo Vegas. Tied for 19th with 4 under, Nicholas Hojard, Michael Thubjorsen, Minwoo Lee, B.H. On, and Takumi Kanaya. Tied for 24th with 3 under, Colin Morikawa, Sam Ryder, Taiga Samakawa, Max McGreevy. Tied for 28th with 2 under, Paul Fishman, Bayo Cawley, Max Homa, Kita Nakajima, Matt McCarty, Rasmus Hojard, Adam Scott, Chris Goddard, Kota Kaneko, Hideki Matsuyama, and Matt Wallace. Tied for 39th with 1 under, Sun J.M., Mark Hubbard, Vincent Whaley, Mac Meisner, and Ren Yonzawa. Tied for 44th at even, Emiliano Grillo, Michael Kim, Ryan Gerard, Scott Stevens, Kaito Onishi, Lucas Hodges, Mika Horikawa, and Aldrich Pottinger. Tied for 52nd with 1 over, now I'm doing notables, Joel Dahman, Brett Horschel, Kurt Katayama, Wyndham Clark, Austin Eckler, Taylor Moore, Adam Putnam. Tied for 61st with 2 over, Matthias Schmidt. Tied for 63rd with 3 over, Sodi Kodiaro, Davis Lipsky. Tied for 67th with 4 over, Eric Cole, Joseph Highsmith. Tied for 69th with 5 over, Patrick Rogers, Tom Kim. 73rd with 6 over, Sammy Valimaki. Tied for 74th with 7 over, Danny Welker and Rio Hisatune. Tied for 76th with 8 over, Gary Woodland, and Davis Riley's 78th with 12 over. Okay, now we'll move on to NASCAR. I think it's only Xfinity and Cup this weekend, but I could be wrong. Let's look. Oh, everybody's this weekend. Or that's a lie. Yeah, no, that's a lie. Truck's off this week, just Xfinity and Cup. From Vegas tomorrow night, Xfinity, the Focused Health 302. And it's funny because Vegas used to be once a year. NASCAR looks like it's now twice a year. Um, so, um, I am going to pick Jesse Love, 17-1. I think that's a good pick. He's been racing well lately. Gotta love how he's racing. No pun intended. All right, Cup Series Vegas Sunday afternoon. The South Point 400. 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. There's a couple good options at 12-1, but there's a really good one at 16-1. I'm gonna go with one of the 12-1s. I'm going with Tyler Riddick. I think that's a good price at 12-1 to get Riddick at Vegas at that number. So Tyler Riddick 12-1 to win the South Point 400. There is no F1 this week. I lied. Sorry about that. News and notes time. A couple things I want to go over. The big news of the day: Shader Sanders officially promoted to QB2. And Dion can't wait until his son plays. And Sanders says he's happy to be wherever the Browns need him in QB2 on certain news. That was before the report. I think the Browns were pressured to promote him, and that's why they did it. And it's the right thing to do. I know. Listen, if his last name wasn't Sanders, this wouldn't be such a huge deal. But they have to see what they got with him. Belichick and company cost $59 million as UNC is spending big on coaching staff and more. Kyler Murray to practice today. Availability will be decided in coming days. Quinton Mitchell got ruled out last night against the Giants due to a hamstring injury. CeeDee Lamb could play against the the Panthers this week. AJ Brown says he doesn't recall meeting with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, despite Barkley's claim. This is what I mean with drama with the Eagles. Like, who's to believe here? Like, somebody's lying. Like, did Saquon lie? And Saquon believes the Eagles are too concerned with the opposition's defense. Jamar Chase, quote on Flacco's age, he's not taking the same route as the quarterback. The NFL is reviewing Jackson Dart's concussion as the league to review Giants' application of concussion protocol after Brian Daboll was seen yelling at the team doctor. The Giants troll the Eagles. Always Sunny reference hits close to home. Get it? Always Sunny in Philadelphia. How about use the word freedom instead of Philadelphia freedom? Maybe use Giant freedom instead of Philadelphia freedom, in reference to the great Elton John song. Jalen Carter didn't play last night due to a calf injury. Cam Scatterboo ripped shirt after win as he and Ryan Fitzpatrick go Hulk Hogan mode after the game. Cody Bellinger plans to opt out of the $25 million option. That doesn't surprise me. Tyronn Lue says Kawhi is in great shape after missing 45 games last year. LeBron James missed the start of the season due to the injury. And we'll see how long in that time frame he misses, so he's obviously going to miss the opener. The Phillies manager consoles the pitcher as he was right there for Orion Keckering after the season-ending error. Eric Chavez suggests that Juan Soto be more aggressive or move in lineup. Paul Pierce arrested for DUI as he was found sleeping at the wheel in traffic. Wow. We talked about Sabali being out for the Mercury with the concussion already. That's why the Aces are favored. Tanner Scott's off the NLDS roster. Or he got moved off of it, and Justin Wroblewski replaced him due to injury, and that's probably the same. Zach Gore's not scared about his job. He's focused on the Rams amid 1-4 start. Jalen Brunson, untouchable in trade, as they refuse to include Jalen in Giannis talks, as it should be. That guy is untouchable. We talked about John Mateer looking like he's going to play. So the entire Florida State football team surprised Ethan Pritchard during his release following the gunshot wound to the head. So that's awesome that he was released, and hopefully Pritchard's doing better. Dan Lanning's not going anywhere as he doubles down on commitment to the Ducks, as he should. Dion to coach against Iowa State after undergoing blood clot procedure on Tuesday. There's some speculation that LeBron might be in for a load management season. There's a video of Jason Tatum dunking, although I think there's a possibility it's false hope for the Celtics to get their fans' hopes up to even be interested in the season. TJ McConnell said that, or Rick Carlisle says that TJ McConnell's out a month with a left hamstring injury. That's a big blow for Indiana's bench. Not that they were going to be anything good anyway without Halliburton and Turner, but still. Ja Morant downplays missing the opener as he was saying they be tweaking. DeAndre Ayton had a quote about being asked about hasn't worked with them yet. Eaton goes, "It's something I've just been waiting on," he said. And sad news out of Chicago. Sister Jean passes away at the age of 106. She served as the chaplain of men's basketball for 30 plus years. Thoughts and prayers to Sister Jean's family, friends, and Loyola Chicago University. She was there a long time, and she was pretty much the face of that program. And their Final Four run several years ago, and 106, God bless her. They're obviously going to dedicate the season to her, you would think. All right, so there you have it for news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. That's obvious where I'm going. I'm laying points with the North Texas Mean Green, and I am going to lay 1.5. Vegas knows, and I am laying points with North Texas. Against, you can make a case, an overrated USF team. All right, the Fab Five. I'm going to start with college. A lot of stuff jumped out to me. Pick number 1. I am going to go with Illinois getting 14.5 at home against Ohio State. I think that the Fighting Illini are going to be in for a upset special potentially, but I don't think they're actually going to do it. I just think that they're going to be Ohio State's going to be on upset watch this whole day, but Illinois will just cover the number, and Ohio State maybe will win by 7 or something like that. Pick number 2, I'm taking Akron getting 11.5 against Miami of Ohio. I just think that's a big number. In a conference game. Pick number 3. I am gonna double down with a team I took last week, and I'm going to take them again. I'm going to take the Terps of Maryland plus 6.5 against Nebraska. Pick number 4. I'm afraid of it a little bit, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. I want to take Iowa State against Colorado. I just can't stand Colorado, as you guys know. But that does feel trappy, as bad as I want to pick that. Then I'm going to go in a different direction instead. I'm going to go to the Big Ten. And I'm going to lay 8.5 with Minnesota against Purdue. Because I think Purdue isn't good. And I think Minnesota's due for a, hey, don't forget about us kind of game. And pick number 5, I'm going with Troy getting 7.5 against Texas State. I just think that is a high number. And my underdog to win outright, I am there's a couple that I like, but I want to also keep in mind that I don't want to double down either. Am I going to double down? I'm not going to take Arizona State because of the quarterback injury. Although I thought about it. Oh, wow. Next week we have games on Tuesday. So that's interesting. You know what? I'm going to double down. And I'm going to take Troy at plus 240. The number's just really good with Troy. All right. NFL Fab 5. Um Not as easy as college in terms of where to go. I'm proud of myself for not pulling the trigger with Iowa State. By the way. All right. Pick number 1 of the Fab 5. Wow, the Seahawks are now favored against the Jags, which is ridiculous. Pick number 1, going back to I'm taking the Panthers getting 3 against Dallas. That might go up to 3.5, but I don't care. I'm taking Carolina plus the 3 against the Cowboys. I just think that's a trap for Dallas. Carolina's been good at home. Pick number 2. I have to lay a little bit of juice. I'm going to lay 5.5 with Pittsburgh against the Browns. Gabriel on the road. Tomlin after the bye. Pick number 3. I am going to go... I don't like as many of the games as I thought. I'm going to go to London. I'm going to go over 43.5 between the Jets and the Broncos. Pick number 4. I'm going to go with This is really hard. I didn't realize how hard this week was to pick. Pick number 4, I'm going to go under 47.5 in Cards Colts. I just think that that's a high number. I know Arizona's defensive injuries, but still no James Conner, and I don't hate how the Colts defense is playing. And pick number 5, I'm thinking about the over in Bengals Packers because the Bengals defense is so bad, but it's also Joe Flacco. Thinking about the Dolphins plus 4.5, but that's a little scary with Tyreek Hill being out and a couple of offensive linemen being out for the Dolphins. It's also fun to fade the Chargers. So it's in between those right now. So right now I took the over in London, Steelers, under in Colts, Cards, Carolina. I have one more. I'm debating and right. All right, so I'm going to. I know, it's Joe Flacco. But the Bengal defense is so bad. And I know that Dolphin number's a little rich. This is the hardest decision I've had to make in the Fab 5 in a while. You know what? I'm actually going to not play the under in the Cards Colts. And instead, I'm going to actually take both the Dolphins getting the 4 in the hook and the over in the Bengals game. I'm going to take both. Because the more I think about it, the more I realize that the Cards defense injured up a little bit right now. So yeah, right. The Cards defense is banged up. I'm going with both the over in Green Bay, Cincy, and then the Dolphins plus 4.5. All right, so the final recap before I give out the money line. Broncos Jets over 43.5 minus 108. Steelers minus 5.5 minus 120 against the Browns. Dolphins plus 4.5 minus 120 against the Chargers. Panthers plus 3 minus 102 against Dallas, and over 44.5 and minus 104 between the Bengals and the Packers. Underdog winner outright. I'm going to go with the Panthers of Carolina at plus 144 to beat Dallas. Like I said, anything either higher than 3 of a point spread or over plus 120 on the money line. So Carolina's over is obviously plus 144. So there you have it for the underdog pick of the week. And there you have it for the show. I'll be back on Monday recapping everything, looking ahead to everything on Monday. I forgot to do a Phillies postmortem. We'll save that for Monday with the other Game 5 losers. So hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.